Other form I mean I was saying I mean more from Ashanti Media so be like video no share their mobile before na ono nso anya bi etumi ahwe na ene honorable Sammi Awuku ene bunu hene atenase ebiebie nsem so pa na nsem mo de agu apono so de enya asem ketu akra honorable Sammi Awuku e de atudwa se ora team na NDC etie no akwakoye sese bio konkonsa ekuo bi na wohwe nsem a mo brobro so ne ene de omo exhibit e wa ban mu a otimi hu se san nsem a mo de betu udwa ne nyina no enyina so bia enim afen so kra no mampanyi State of Nations address a okobiebie mu e wo mrahye bedwam no so no odinano atumu a wabiebie nsem so pa enya asem ketua na ode assurance e de ama MPP amonyokuo nyina se obi a enka na kuma entu ne yem esanse dey se ohwe feeling a o feeli ene se okomontene manfo di nkomo a nsem a omode etu nanim no e kire se 2028 is a bright time for the MPP to do a comeback. Ntino wabrobro nsem no dodo na so na pese ye begibre na yakotie bi yenso yadwen kire fa sansem o de begu apono so no yetumi e de ato comment section.
President Ebeka in the State of the Nations address and the crisis we women say in exercise of his mandate as President of the Republic.
Okay.
Na Niamani Pia Mampeni Beke you know. I feel na this week Parliament ba benya home resource no. They are pensing mo. Na yehu near dayenim and then near Persia Council so asem. Na medobe ko eche kakra in 2025 the NDC government no make 112 commitment in various sectors of our economy. Now 112 commitments no included 112 programs and initiatives and what they call a bold vision and then yamanon peso moye. As at the year ending 2025, out of the 112 commitments, only 43 and ana omo deliver. Inti and we are 38% of the 112 commitments. See, you be away.
Them so mind to me and half cry.
Mind to me and half. Now 41 remaining in progress. You go so our movie. And now 28 there almost started here cry. Into 43 have been delivered. 41 remain in progress. And at 28 they almost started here cry. Now, this is not the record of government or buyout straight away. They were coming to reset the agency, they be reset near movie from here to here. I face also a buy sika semonto to you know. A buy way so I'm buy buy a car a day near the almost reduce but call a year in dollar terms your public debt in dollar terms, a growth from $48.3 billion to $57.2 billion. Into where this contradiction way undermining government claims be fiscal prudence. So much me to seek in such a way say a car a day or mine as Nenchichi money at the Swati. A bill in 2025, President Mahama promises that na banso no obema ye ho ahenhan na omo reduce the cost of electricity. Na eno so no according to them no ebeboa yen ama nipa pi no so timi omo ho ahenhan. In 2025 May, Omampani kan State of the Nations address in February. In May, and I buy to electricity move by 14.75%. And so why on my 1 month me DJ home a year June. July and almost had 2 moving by 2.45%. A coca 14.75%. October almost has 2 move by 1.14%. And a January I buy 2 moving 9.86%. Okay, Kambo almost 30% higher electricity etia. But bono Ghana Nibiana apart from 30% increment abaya to about electricity and you see now electricity are some serious is that you cannot have a member 24-hour economy at the end. You cannot have a 24-hour economy when the cost of power high. The businesses now with the 12 hours no crowd no to mean copy. 8 hours no to mean copy. Also when 24 hours when the cost of electricity no to say a cost. Even though a buying from May last year, July last year, October, any January this year, what to electricity money. Okay, Cambo mo 30%. In actual sense, Nipan be bridge say over 100%.
Okay,
because I dare not to go where feeding and so on. It is say the same boat. Pa neko. Obi o hono first nanka ebi auto electricity ever say 1,000 cedis. Anke be sono for 1 month. And auto a sono for 1 week. Ebi o cry a lesser. Oko kan aban mu penny for so e ama mon tono tot. Na tono kesiem any boom. Nyani pen na betimi nya na sa. Afa so no. The same government too, President Mahama in 2025, or share a year in the area of aquaculture. Or Sanso Kase, they will invest further in modern fish landing sites.
When you know 2025?
Yes. Any cold storage facilities. We are 2025 State of the Nation's address, and it might pick a pointer on what they buy. Or see a be invested in fish landing site. Send a boy in your couple. In air parfoni adi. Now face on ya so no invest in cold storage facilities nipa no kwache fish by the become. It's been a year down the line. There's no visible sign see any of the landing sites. Just a President Akufo-Addo 12 fish landing sites, any 2 fishing harbors or no or year between 2017 and 2024. Even in the area of aquaculture. Eye mampani na mu no bosha o share no enya ade otimi ediso.
Okay.
Afei so no ye mampani bio oba the State of the Nation's address a year in 2025. Or say government will begin plans for the implementation of the 20% allowance for teachers who agree to serve in the rural areas. Ye teacher for omoko nkrase ko trade no. Abanse say more allowance bia
ebe motivate
you. Where was said in 2025 State of the Nation's address. Meno say abaya kan budget mienu since the time of President Mahama ebe kan State of the Nation's address. Aban be kan be media or be kan be in November last year. Out of this no evidence of disbursement. And about this in this area of 20% motivation, near say a year in the form of allowance, yadema a year a teacher for the rural areas. Afebono, they call another area if we be social inclusion and empowerment in 2025. When at 2025, I didn't make a catch. A year, Her Excellency the Vice President, the Empowerment for Women and People with Disabilities program. Or say will also be launched this year. That was 2025. The program will target women. Program na ebeshe ema ene yenu no mo sebe living with disability.
Okay.
And after other vulnerable groups are a war society. Near mom access to finance and to create jobs. As I said, a baby to my bomb noms to sika bomb on some. Sir remarks we President Mahama in 2025 SONA. Or said the commitment to land the Vice President Empowerment Program. Na idea on be. Menewoka say there's still no visible implementation or outcome. A HSSR pledge or my 7.3. Meko obe kwa bebre. Ebio Osanso can say he will reduce the number of staff compared to what existed under the previous administration. About the size and cost of running government business. A beniponi omo ye jumani ade so better number na so netimi CV and sika. Now see weni na no aimed at say aban ebetimi so ate nekaso.
Okay.
Na sa bosho share in the 2025 State of the Nation's address. Despite so wakati agencies from 8 to 5 a year under him. The salaries of Office of Government Machinery agencies are under A8 or they about 5. The salaries of the Office of Government Machinery increasing from 326.9 million cedis salaries and then the man here they share sanko for no more 8 agencies. A man MPP war. Our test so there about 5 agencies under the Office of Government Machinery. A increase from the 326.9 million cedis in 2024 Akufo-Addo budget to 540 million cedis in 2026.
540 million.
Yes, in 2026. That's what we approve for them.
The ya katekura number 5.
The Akufo-Addo budget are no use here under the Office of Government Machinery. Ana 8 agencies of government and ana share under the Office of Government Machinery. They say ya test from the 8 number 5. The Kanya esenka sika and how they run is
and so tiba for
but when they increase it from 326 million to 540 million. Now Committee of Parliament ameme kan a year Committee on Public Administration and State Interest. Office of Government Machinery no yen ye share budget some
enterprises.
Yes. Inti omo no ebo budget discussion ni omo na ye and how omo run the Office of the Government Machinery. If Akufo-Addo used 326.9 million in 2024 to run 8 agencies and pay staff salaries near their day home compensation. Now we buy say we make it yourself cut down cost. We reduce it from 8 agencies to 5. We move it from 326 million in 1 year to 540 million in 2026. Not just a cost cutting at the end of Okayano, Enya Juma. A face or so no. Ade bakwa aban we DC nani so was a 133 shift model. A year 24-hour economy. Since Ababa brand is no longer a reality.
But Abana pass it.
Never a pass or parliament. Okay. Now it's interesting and strange, sir. Akufo-Addo at the free SHS we need 2016. No doubt. In 2017 he implemented the free SHS. Okay. I'm not your education minister, the first education minister under Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the year Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. They implemented the free SHS within the first year because no nana a year ne flagship program.
Yeah.
Now, a by way, a promises say obey implement 24-hour economy to run a modular 133. Just say Ibiya anopa, ibiya ewia, ibiya na jodeko amachi. Ghana 40 year. Ye two man. No one also can say they will employ about 1.6 million youth. Sebasa had you way bemwa. Mene woka say. With the creation of a 24-hour economy now, authority, near where you CEO, near where your board of directors, and near where about 100 staff are, they are expected to start work at the authority. That wasn't what we were promised. We allocated about 110 million cedis for the 24-hour economy authority. That is less than 1/10 of whatever we are even talking about in their budget. Less than that. Now, flagship programmer also never fight unemployment and recruit more youth into jobs. Now, the priority you give it in your budget now. And the chair say, we don't call in the area of infrastructure. I'm afraid we with a big push, road infrastructure and development. Now, so big push, a bank can say or they about 100 billion. In fact, a total of about 110 billion. And Omoka say the kwa kushim. Now, so 100 billion plus. A bank in the budget of the buyer also you make a commitment of 50 billion between 2025 and 2028. Now, about 4 years. You know, now the buyer the to swabama was your 2024 manifesto promises, programs, and priorities. Into that being said, 50 billion now say a year commitment between 2025 and 2028. The remaining 50 plus billion, the funding gap, where will it come from? Because you are not promised 2029. All policy might not be policy.
Of course.
Into all policy, no dia na odia bana yehwe so dia gina e de to so aba ma. Then where is it? In the area of employment and jobs. Aban we last year be catch say ye free bibi adwumawura. Na eno na me say adwumawura yi ehun komodie yi. Aban ka say ya fa under the adwumawura program any project no. Omo launch no with pomp and pageantry the fanfare 5. They said they were recruiting 10,000 young people now into apprenticeship any program. After recruiting 10,000, President Ebeba State of the Nation address, so he has started disbursement to the master craftsmen and the apprentices, maybe 10,000. Now this year, Osiaba 100,000. 10,000 recruiting, I feel now we'll start a disbursement. And there's no evidence to suggest why even half of the 10,000 to the businesses. And no more castle, ye baby PBBA show say more money. Inti kwache kwaso obema ontoma.
No, be sanity.
Well, be sanity. Because your 10,000 and no for a whole year. I feel now will start a year disbursement. My way training any other. So how would you be able to fund 100,000? It's major word here is based on the promise of Nyawokanra. Intibono, the State of the Nation address Nadia, or Mampenisa Americano, or Bacanadia. But Pastor, if it is one that gives us hope, I disagree. And interestingly, in the area of jobs, President said within 1 year, now by creating 1 million jobs. But the government statistician, or no catch us, we created 330,000. See, two things. Either some Mampeni lied to us, or the statistician lied to us. But Mampeni in the field work now, a statistician a kofaba. And you can't come to Parliament and tell us that it's a house of records. It's captured in the Hansard as a public statement and a statement of record and fact. She said, who do we doubt? Then the government statistician, that means you are asking him.
Sorry, Ghana Kuntabufo.
That's right. Ghana Kuntabufo. She said, no, let's hear Kodani Busana say, no papa no ya catch no, and ni amampeni ni embeka in a buebra. And again, send this year by create 1 million jobs. And then this now full soldiers, no, and will be 1 million jobs here and coaches. Kosuti radio station, we show mu TV. Who tear the phone in, who tear text, who share yeah, massa. Hit home, pressure day the street top. Hit the inside oh, bono. Now as a jointing fifra unti.
Yeah.
Ubu on message or the NDC na boni nitino. And the ferries or beka se osun. As for position, they condemn man fears no for. But mom wa ben na yeson wa pakan no. Omom se pentwa wo wa pakan na omosun. Na ya 9cc from what teaching.
And I say Unibu.
I say Unibu. These are some of the few things I picked from the President's State of the Nation address. Now, the last but not the least here, the digital skills development. No, almost say, almost friend, 1 million coders program. Under the 1 million coders program, young people receive training. It's a President now State of the Nation address. So young people receive training 2025 in coding, web application, digital marketing, and other digital skills. Just say about for any intent time on your money apps and the idea. Need training a young mofra and our young people. Send on basic fair use of the internet to bring revenue to themselves. Any abe for 10 time the idea. After the launch, only 859 young people have been trained. Not 1,000, not 2,000, not 30,000.
But promising they're saying
1 million coders program. 1 million coders program. They emphasize say uchemu within 4 year period. So no then 250 every year. So say after from na call we're training 859. Until waiting Musa no see forget before. Until that ben ye ko akwa kodu emu 5,000. Emu 10,000, you could do emu 100. Not just say, you see, the good thing is that to send people your time, your wabotreno suye, a binding near my walking nano, a see a tear boss, near team, near market. On the issue of cocoa.
Right, I want to come here because a back cocoa, dear, make us say, if you fee.
That's right.
Tetekwashi Fanado Pool. What they buy
Mampono
they buy
apart from say me constituency me town me hometown okay. Krapim North is Mampon 107.3 Krapim North constituency baby I me fruma you try a ye ho na me fie Mampon e ho na Tetekwashi bedua ne koko say kwana ya jenwa e jubi e fro jubilee e cocoa farm.
Yeah.
The symbolic nature of it. Unia 77 prediasa bono. Se nipa no se okọ wanzam ho. Akotwa ni dua. Na 77 prediasa se bi enya do wenye ntwa.
The Pieto
de enkem. Obe share omobo ekuafo. Oman fa second major on console. First catch on so be over 6,000 plus. Show mbo se kufu ado aban de omutri mo den pa. Koko no mutofi mo ho no. Amansan dwaso no omunya ho nkwan tafre. Inti na mo no onhwe mu ye. Na mo de mo ba omode pa e wo mu omo chefa no. There's no way I will be do my bro. But nothing below 6,000. You're at forcing a regional parliament. Esa so no e kachre ye se ne ese ekuafo koko for omunya no. Aban we sha some say akufo ado 3,100 ninye. Nto buy no or they call 3,600. Afede ya starting season ni. Sikadewa akufo ado moton ye in 2024 koko. Ehun sunsanso any sikan ebewura mu 2025. That's when they started receiving this process. And the forward sales sikani ade P na afena na begum. Aban we san kwa na say yes fad ekuafo nyiro mo nya adwuma na president kra say wonni asase akopa asase ade be yekoko
o se be mo bohu kra wo farms dum na
afede midway through the journey ekuafo mate o sika eso afi 3,600 no one farm megina baby akufo adokra de o mugina 3,100 no wo do ma ba down to 2,500. And no crowd now sounded bar down on November 1 from Sikamo. December, and now buying penny for Unam Kruma, Hampers. To say, Osha pick up, say, cheer, Ujaya near Bonner Ribbon. No one Nemuna and Frama, na Equiafoni Cocoa Pharmacy. To a treasure. Sikama November, Sikama December, January. And also bobo. I feel February muko remwa osimokra mkoko enesi eteso. Cause 3,600 no yentimi to ebium. 3,100 ekufu ado dija mo so yentimi farmer mo tede mo ba 2,500. Sikane o no so a eno no yentimi kancho se betua ne na na betua ne chena. To make matters worse no. Koko asan so mate amde braban no. Aban se da bi mensa nka ho ne nguo ne ye ready ansana yebetimi age koko te krafo no a omsika ne yekoye no a ama me aban so ashom so munuamra no mbeto so a abananje minua it's not just a case of some sika na delay o omabemu abu ewa adwuma na omadi no e menye just omsika no e delay aduane e show monum no ye yefim aduane esi omopono so no ye hwegu ne toso miensa sebe ne ma school fees ontimi ntua ne na yaresa bills ye mani no ontimi nto ne busuafo e dan no ontimi nhwe wo amakuani na nka koko de koko farmer de anya no e ne kura Ghana te say ye spine ye si achiban na so no be boa ne man nkofo ye galamsey wan fa ne farm na nko ye galamsey ni bi o de dua koko se ne be so aba e de aboa ne man mampani bo so shemo o shemo nyina mem ti president ba ye no na se kai no ntina na ye kura koko pod no
but so no so justify the entire
they not justify
I say I save Ghana billions of
but you save Ghana na ewo he e kire se ade no wo ba ye no aban no negligence and then a lack of strategy and a poor calculation and ama koko crisis aba because Ghana ewo niema mienu omoye omo forward sale and obi friend advance sale and access spot price forward sale no oye no a wasumdwo and ye dodo na ya Ghana ya about 70% of forward sales se no be de ani bu se bono me koko amidua yi pese me ton ma o e bi asidi baako ebedu wonom no na de ne bo kosoro a obelusu kakra
but ukita usidi baako no
ya ukita usidi baako no aban we ba e sansa na Akufo Addo de oja na afe na aso aba ye fo asio na ye no afe na nasika na ba begu kana ya yo wanu aban we jiri so wani e cash ho Ten instance ya be for sales, ya be bibi a friend spot price. And you picking crime cocoa for sikabra. Na fa die amansen dwaso ne bo no eba from less and buy no quickly no kosan hedge na nka ne aka no ye ton sa omo twen ama abebo fom intenye kuani ne mfom so ono de na oka so onye no ani dua na onua no wadua kokoo no
nti obi negligence na ma pia for so
obi a wanye na dwuma yie eno nkyese se kokoo farmer no a ono mokọ amansen dwaso amomfa ne nkobi onka discussion ne ho onka negotiation ne ho and I would take a decision say we no be sport price one friend and canchen na wo ka che na ne say nyire won team na dua mame udua mame a mo already market asa when you bro no aka say more ne do so fie koko de enya ban we anka minti bi da se san pu koko san kogu bushi ti bono ye nyae so ye ntiapo ti no kware da wo
right quickly ya hwe de na wo kanom maka se macroeconomic indicators ni nyina show say aban no eye bibi economic stability wo ho ba exchange rate ya beka se de cedi na nya hoden okọ pump station a petrol bo aba form inflation a drop it to 3.8%. Obeka se aban na nya adwuma.
Okay, bono zim bibi cost wa man now magical. I say ye nkonya bi a che pa say wo hwe ye seed na ho odin na ejina brand against the major trading currencies. But nyema nyina boyedin so aban say inflation aba form bibi bia obekọ akoto bia no obekọ na nyema mienu ida say ne bo ne kosoro ana de kono size no ye reduce no say kenke na akwa akoto a utumu say kenke no e be 5 to 7 cedis yente so na bia yentum but the size no crown na 5 to 7 cedis eswati bibi bia no akwa akoto a unya utididim inti no inflation no because inflation na drop by ye nemu a wudi dwa no utu say no niema enye normal. The micro and macro indicators are working. Dodo no must end up in your pocket. The real sectors of the economy are a grow no agriculture, manufacturing, key sectors of the economy. I say grow. Well, agricultural sector no, and yes, a boost will grow. O manufacturing sector I say 24-hour economy. You bear 1x3 shift no. It is not happening. There's pressure in the system and for any adwuma nyeye. Into the way in one word na kogu say macro micro indicators ni na ejina brand and it's not reflecting in the pocket of the Ghanaian. Then there's a disconnect between theories now who use na go book nim and how anipa no nemu no efele. When obi kan so na me dimija na me nim say ni esi hyemefa. And no true do. For instance, in 2025, many of the state-owned enterprises, many of the ministries, departments and agencies, PS on the core allocation and core. And if you are not spending, now keep sikano or the car. Now be a bro sikano their short pocket.
What was 7.3?
Because of bank account. But the moment I be there to a car or no, I suppose a reality will face you. Because when you are contractors car, or suppliers car, they are obviously going to feel the pinch.
So then the people by decide they say, well, but this kind of a good time.
I'm saying, books no one person books no clean, but they are much swabber. There's an agency of state. Approval 11 million cedis for them in 2025. Say no more fine your juma. I feel the corner we own my here Ministry of Finance. They are 100,000 cedis. From 11 million, 100,000 cedis. Tejuma beno court now. Many of the state-owned enterprises are. They say, Abana kofe bibiaba the friend authorization and a commencement. And so now be adwuma bia say okọ finance minister ho. Ko the authorization and commencement. E bi mo de request for authorization and commencement. E ko be March last year. October e ko na wiye ansa na yemom approval. November end of the fiscal year. 20 anya adwuma bia. And it's only when wo toniema goods and services o to utiaka the money circulate. O ye capital project and a capital expenditure project awuya and also no ebia wafa contractors, ebia wafa suppliers, ebia wafa say it is can movie from bono ho na ko akokraba na ko heme na ko say. But bibia nko na bibia ma afobe won se wo de won ko na wonam no wabɔhwerema na gigi wo trim. So me books mu ayefe me niam akoyi but nkrofo na afi omohwe wani asomunna no kem tipampani ka cheze Ghana phone tighten your belt you are ready for takeoff pampani ya tighten belt na masese no ade na mian ma say ya cheze akayen yen so no and abai mu panifo no de omde elastic ato omo de omo trousers no and I expanded. So there's a very serious disconnect between government's policies and then your government tout as an achievement, you know, and then the reality on the ground. Is it not strange? I was what it for also. So na bono kai. You think na mo amitiemu station mo say transportation. Ekosro. Cars and cars and kra na bi ni ho. You think kan mo agodi ada na car owners inform cars engu street ni so. Say nkoye adwuma. Say what fuel so a. How did he say? Affect the BS reflect or baby. Other than yet to spare pass. Other than yet to transportation. Yes, a driver front swarms because Oma will say, oh, yeah, robbing Peter to people. What about where he levy 1% a fuel? Your boy a bus we and I will introduce 1 cedi per liter on every fuel I better. It's no year over times 10 of the other 11 in a crown year. And every okase will be reduced taxes. So na be a deeper home. But you will increase it to say a special import levy from 1% to 3%. Until you increase in tax, we introduce 21.9% VAT on non-life insurance. 21.9%. We introduce 8% tax on fuel and petroleum product. Affairs we increase taxes on marine gas from 0.23 pesos to 1.93 pesos. Was shifted from a 4% flat VAT rate to a 20% standard rate. Na nyama we na wo yeni na no we 11 no ba ne odi abegu ye komu no e more than sen ka muja 11 no ho a. Nti yen MPP for no ene yen communicators ye to ye bo ase kire Ghana fonim ne ye hunu mark by mark. You say ne aban we aye we ya take no we ya mark no we ye de agina se ya me sure say Ghana for no beti ase. First no last year udi anything about MPP to social media so a
na ni pampe kra
I just say yeah wa kokudro hwe okisia ne bon wo e wo kwan ho lorry kwan ho na eniema mienu oni akukudro a no wo mirika ti last year the na NPP ni a na no hye e wo sa social media ene omoma de to so a to say we are in Tokoya start here e wo a Middle East the US Israel on one side against Iran and will be chamber of oil consumers also on better so to koye CD a bit me affect Ghana so no ye sika sem no send
Copec for the
Copec for no Duncan ko for se men fasa maka empese e beti mumma yeti ase ehun say Ukraine and Russia baby e no ene Ghana ni nkita wodie bia Iran crowd e muche esen Ghana between Ghana and Ukraine and Ghana Russia as compared to Ghana Iran na nkofo bu chese ono crowd on ka say aban ba be tutumu o ka also e betimi affect say no crowd e yi sa probability ni feel. It shows clearly that the people of today no any problem And now I also see a positive favorability rating for the MPP. Now a gradual. We can ask them give time, some time. Now yes, so yemfa Brasia, Kasapa, Kasade, Entena Sasipa. Yemfa Nyejuma.
Couple minutes, I feel one joining here now. Air Sasipa 107.3. Sammi Awuku. I'm not sure this year war a Kuapim North and AD and Como and then you have a share. And I'm watching Abai the BB Abba. Abino NDC Abain and Yamiya Tumwa Government Accountability Series. Felix Kwachu Fusu, right? What about Tuja Ora Operation Recover All It. Baby Akusi and Himua Omuye. Abaiba wanted about Tuja so much may recover 600 million Ghana cedis. Menimsa Samo Kuja Tabra Kwaye Ononko Pa Legon. Our down for power or no. Okay, so my Ghana, you bet me in your scar 21 billion from Operation Recover All It. What assessment ever Operation Recover All It to say?
See, I know more fears here. No carry a woman say, no, you the focus here. Near Attorney General. And I no many prosecutorial powers. Na no many investigative body. Na a team na yate se wote hwesere ko kachiro wote hwesere ko kachiro wote onam anwo se akokraba yese tiko yekoi wo betre no akoka yakoka chiro ti we ya yinu anu de ba so yinu Ablakwa Minister Foreign Affairs also shepa nia abegu ora de ni omanimu a hu hia se abekwa IMF beskani na no e wogana ni na no zo ye kekabo mu a over $21 billion was here tini say de nanka ya sempa because obi no obetima obeka se for wa sempa kodo fe de amrekoi na ora no mete domelowo o kan ora team o say no na nkofo de begu amani bebre na rubbish si bebre na no kra na eni nyina so na sen mete deputy attorney general o senior mani pia ora na ma na de beto amanim no o mo de kokota enye na sen asme sante attorney general there but let me be very fair me my farmer so net ba me kan one of the news portals but let me be specific as for news or caso or say 21 billion there or no attorney general nya calculation na you could get to Ablakwa calculation 107.3 bono I have say you foreign affairs minister it me ye busa no say calculation cause ye no be fe ni nyame ni nyina ho yeah e bi ono mwaye calculation ye ni hu ne ye okeka bo mu nya 21 because e ya koye se ni onu hu ye no ye different from the adomelovo mu hu ye e different from the deputy attorney general hu ye na different from the attorney general hu ye ni obetin so akoji sika na ba na attorney general meboa basa ba ne se yetime retrieve 600 million out of the $21 billion ana papa meboa pepe okay so could that to see 21 billion okay and I'm paying here retrieve 600 million fan say 600 million the fan say they fee a few twem no kra no they me fa bi count say 1 billion not just a few way no nyame ya adom e betima ya another 1 billion na 2 billion na 2027 ye 1 na ye 3 billion na 2028 ye 1 na ye 4 billion I say 4 near TV even the 21 more ka 17 bono mebo cruise on de adwin dia agro NDC aban dia o ka so mo de adwin diagram me hu how Ablakwa ye no calculation tira mpeze mo na mo ye kutie be ka for e bi o minister ade buy em say calculation no wa ye den ama yedna to boy me hu the sector by sector let me aboa na ye na tima chiche because aban sesa ya na eto da bia inframa na ebo no obu okro no nu bi wasem betima beton bono hene ama so bono ade we no say na ekọ say ni ate bono be kwa kohwem no na etesa iti we no menya me na me dana se kra se yeru foreign minister ntokoye koso Iran on kasa fa na no nkotum bi cause ye no hai ye nyare so ye ntiapo
mentiasi yo
era be kase we no 107.3 ntokwa we no nye ye feel nti on the emane ni nko na foreign ministry ono na ye mfa mpai bonta na chi
on kana nuntum
na enye so on kana nuntum kra no on de no bre release bia no ne aban ni na anwe ho ye se na be ya de be Ghana fo nyina ye sunsun na aban ni gina de akoka bi yes sir cause asa ade we no ntokwa na ekoso no wakon anu atum kra na wakon anu atum ni suspect say wano na wakan atum no yenye sure itimi du benum cause oketre kwa we ne mekwa pontre ni otim fifre wa onu say ntokwai nke US Israel and Iran so about 6 nations or 7 nations ye toto pai ni bi ko omo ko ka bi o adan yes US for asset and installation and a facility no tina me say yes say we are bay ye do yeru foreign minister on ye ka say ntokwa we no de
anya nasem
o me entry break cause na me kan no ye na fe na resetting and the num 24-hour economy fina 133 no yenya mu half
basa ban no hona o kan so be ba wonti am po so abana apase ama ye be new authority e be make sure say 24-hour economy no betimi akoso and the abana show commitment and the political role say will be 24-hour economy nana
no so sa 24-hour economy na nye peripheral promise na a centerpiece of President Mahama. Okay. Then American say 24-hour economy no. Na nye say a one platform talk.
Okay.
A idea na a central na ene a war
titru
na NDC so mu winia ombe.
Okay.
Inti na msha se meka se obi say President Akufo-Addo. Ade ba kwa ye na agitum say ode ba Ghana was free SHS. Now the free SHS now, President Akufo-Addo ni MPP bon who ahead of 2016. Emma Ghana for G2 mu say obeye president within the first year or say the free SHS will be implemented. He made a promise. The first year the free SHS was implemented. It was a promise made, a promise fulfilled. 24-hour economy, we are in the second year. I think ya pass your mobile on the buy.
But a will create environment, a business
environment now creating. You cannot have a 24-hour economy without one, a stable power supply. Because in your magic in the power industries and the manufacturing. You cannot have a 24-hour economy when the cost of power and electricity and the water are the baby produce. Water cost, electricity cost. Meaning anti 24 economy, the businessman, the more I keeping the light on is a cost to him. We're increasing the cost of electricity by 30%. And in actual sense, I suspect it's even more. Because in Rikana economy, near 30% Rika, it could be more.
Yeah.
Secondly, we share that of your friend is saying, a buying or the buyer now. It's clear that the first year there was no 24-hour economy. The second year 24-hour economy, in your passing, I think your passing bill. Now, why are your board of directors, CEO, and 100 staff who are yet to start? I think President, one of the central things that he said in the 24-hour economy, in fact, the most honest word in the 2026 SONA on this subject here, 24-hour economy authority, was it aims to extend productivity. Mitrimopo and then the Niswadi Huno. After 2 years of promising a revolution in the industrial sector, after a full year in government, the flagship policy is still an aim. any actual. The government cannot tell me say over the last 12 months, as a result of the 24-hour economy initiative and program of government, there's this company that is operating 24 hours. As a result of the 24-hour economy program. Unless you say it's a company or entity no operating at the end of that. But there's no direct link of a buying way policy in here. I'm a company, an entity, I produce that. That is why I think they made 24-hour economy. Ubu Samia, Wadaroma. I honestly think say a buy no do na be kasa. Many album who cry even say 2025. Also for 10,000 young people in the area of coding, in the area of Ejumera. Now we're training your master craftsmen and the apprentices. Small entities and companies, one more disburse funds, more they are show more jumenu. After 10,000, we have finished started disbursement. Now for a few we must over 500,000. Something magical is happening.
No plan, no cash bill, no idea.
No plan, no cash bill.
My own some pushy.
I feel no boba more. Na abai we say na make us say many pieces wo ho no mo a. I feel na ochumbeti enka as we debate the state of the nation's address. Because it is clear say abani initiatives p no. Sikano come the be run and cry bi ni ho. And it happened last year. Almost a young country also says they keep giving you the promises. One thing this government is selling is hope.
But the economy, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. What they are selling to us is hope, but hope is not a strategy. About 2 usu ubedidi. About 6 usu ubedidi. About 9 usu ubedidi. Masa meni yekum. I just think say me jidi say ye bobo niemanim ye to ye boase na ye hu how asetenanim ti no. It will go a long way to also help us shape the narrative for us as a party.
And this are still more good one, John Dramani Mama.
I think last year they did. Last year no more enormous goodwill.
107.3
give time some time. I fear yesimu. Monitor the feedback on their own policies and programs. Even the NDC platforms. Also.
Right. You better feel in common CC, but I say better feel in common. What can be about state-owned enterprises? Abayno so akasa afa ho say omuntimi reki in revenue. Why you adwuma wo NLA pay. Abayin eden na mi ntimi nya sika free agencies yi ho.
Well, I think that first of all, agencies almost one role play in the governance architecture. And there many be no more agencies so to me for more and time for revenue PM realm. It be more also so are they able to rake in revenue but more expenditure high. Now they are also burdened with the issue of jobs because it's difficult for government to employ people at the ministries. But very easy for government to get people employed at the departments and agencies. In the state-owned enterprises, my raking more, but they also spend more in the compensation and salaries. Compensation salaries since KD2 my phone the other. And now what they take, their take home as salaries for the staff and what agencies, more than more normal civil service.
Okay.
And more cost of doing business is normally also high. Into a complicated structure. Na time biano abanso state-owned enterprises also so boa. It's also difficult for them because it's the same government that is passing on to them to do this, to do that, to do that. Direct is in Efiabano. Because on their own, their boards are constituted by government. And our boards on their also supervisory role, oversight responsibility over the agency. As I me person me Juma, for instance, Ministry for Tourism. Aban say okay, mumunya me mamo clearance to recruit at Ministry of Tourism. Me mo ma me fa wo CV enko Ghana Tourism Authority. You only postpone the obituary. Because there's a fan of ministry. And I didn't receive I could pay Ghana Tourism Authority. And when this government came or strike it out, almost 100,000 young people elusu omojuma by virtue of the fact that they got young people, they got employed under the previous government. Crime said they got employed under the previous government. I just thought that this government has not been fair, honest, and sincere with the young people. Because also wabe obabe fenipa. And yes, sana opese brofu mi efre bi co-terminus. Opese wo no krofo na wabe fa wo no. Tesem dan kwa me bia President Mahama Kofi 2029 January. Na NDC suko opposition. Wa hwe ya no abenya mampani ono so beka so bia ye fa no bia from 2025. Yen go back to that time.
Say abani seti committee anyame ya aduma china omodo mo fan
forget it. So Ombeka say a committee say, but wait, when you were asking that the chief of staff, the president asked the chief of staff to sign that decree. The chief of staff on his own cannot just say he terminated the appointment of all young people. I found in December. Ubi the year come back to 2018. Some of the people who lost their jobs, it was 2018 year. That is not just witch hunting. That is deliberately say what target Ghana and say me yin a dear fear. And many fear is that NPP may never forget. Ebi anam penny NPP. Dr. Baumia will say for the sake of our country, let's move on. But when you be more, Omzbeka said near the yenti. Yanko back to that.
And to you.
Me, I don't want to comment on the matter. I don't want to comment on the matter. Because in your own,
but you need last minute appointment.
But what is last minute appointment? Bono, a president and a government is elected for a 4-year mandate. And per the constitution, every act or exercise of the president before your best way in a new president is valid. Is it not? In the other you can say you are to in December until worker salary says you on for December the year. You are to about 7th December. But my first job market here December. If you tell me say na a last minute appointment, we say last minute appointment anything. We still have a president, you still have a government, you still have an administration, you still have ministers. To now you're handing over a transition. But not say there's no president. But now we idea more say another president will come. No, so I can say go back to even 10 years. Is that how to build a nation? But see, NDC could have still used their 24-hour economy to create more jobs for their people. And say, hey, and then no, you can't begrudge them because almost no, and some of food soldiers from my year, Jumano. Omunya baby say, and me, I'm one person now. I do not think for a second say, no, my bayaba. No, create space for them in the policies and programs that you are building. Are we implementing? But not just a Ghana new year Jumano. Manon Kotinefi. Nama NDC new Kotinane desk so. It's the same unemployment figures. Figures about for unemployment. There's nowhere that is state. So we NDC unemployed youth. Nebwa. And our MPP unemployed youth. NPP employed youth. NDC employed. No. An unemployed Ghanaian is an unemployed Ghanaian. And what broke my heart most was that single act of President Mahama. Because anything that has to do with youth development and welfare. Because you see, Bono, in the 90s, there was a coordinated effort at educating the girl child. In the 90s. Led by the late Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, the late Madame Gladys Asma, Madame Christine Checha, the late Madame Sheria Ite. These were great women from both parties. So they said, so let's educate the girl child. Why? Because that time there was a gap. Not girl child, no. Your time for in school. Mukase. But then you know, girl child na kosua dia masese no wetimi akonenim. The girl child is part of the bigger youth bracket youth who can you fa a marima and a ma no forming the youth within a certain age bracket. Into after educating the girl child, educating the boy child, now through no fault of his or hers, a buying with me a kunya agency beam, yan political color. Not buying for about say you will definitely be employed under a certain government.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a vacuum. There wouldn't be a head of state or a government or Ghana, your history. So you definitely will be employed under a government. Inti nana wakwako yi se ankrofo na di no bo okra na onye MPP ni. Ohiani bi ba wa wedari mu na bia wa chrocho application na afama no. Se no wasama na konechi biem emu twajajo. I don't think that is fair. And the reason why I'm unable to answer the question, say to me, no, none aban we if a future NPP government will do same or not do same. I believe says
NPP for so be expect say
yes we aban ba. Me say aban we e dia kwakọ share situation a ense sen ka aban ne. And why just when danger even the future of the NDC young people are wa found e we dwuma. Intiana an NPP government comes in. No almost so gidi say almost so aban na ba. And the bono hene akonya na o tiso no. Esam so betena so ntese ye bono hene adi. It breaks my heart. Because when you are fighting for youth development, any youth no welfare, you don't have to be political about it. All call for a person who create space. Create space in a different program of government, absorb them, no so no BB. NPP did not sack NDC people who were employed under an NDC government. I said there would definitely be everybody will be employed under a certain government, either in the private sector or public sector. Now they have put the MPP in an uncomfortable situation. The next president of our republic, Dr. Baumia, will have to dig deep and think deep on how to navigate.
Right. I say, yeah, the party in common is na couple years ago, and say, Unia Daji, Ebija was a seer. When said that watching, many honorable Frank and not prayed in common, say, Moko can't be our mind womb power or Kadi.
Abrim and Fosia be.
Oh, okay. Why? Why? Of say Kadi Abrim.
I also can't go now. Bono say the train be jinachina no.
We na mnim say nka kokofu yi de na nka western region ho ba bi na makojina
mbi so sa omodo koko pa. Omodo koko. Isenso ya one area do koko pa. Mfa do hwe Kade o hwe Ofoasia Yebi o hwe even odan areas o hwe Abrim o no omodo koko. To try yes a conversation with the cocoa.
Tibia be no man wo na yonko yi ni party nkomo. To you tibia be no man wo.
Me gidi say tibia no man wo mu now. I don't know a package in a cruise na settings. Which means say ija show. And many more day. What can you say CD na ho den akosoro $1 ba fom. Cause nyema me to board so kan wanu tum CD na ho den abasoro. Ye transport fares cost we say kan wanu tum CD na ho den akosoro $1 ba fom. Electricity ya tum 30% yes kan wanu tum CD na ho den akosoro $1 no ho den aba fom. Into the state of our nation today.
Settings.
It is settings. I just say Instagram is made to believe. Your package be my see here near internal. But they actually there's a disconnect. The state of our nation today, and there's a disconnect between the reality and what the government is telling us.
Right.
Going into 2028, there's a branding, no? It's Mushimukina.
Okay.
There's any PSS in the branding of the party. Bensenka pa cry, as any Amaka crasses.
I know maybe said
I'm saying the branding of the party. You see, as the young people, the young voters, as any money bit me attractive, the outlook of the party. And see, where they may catch a party in penny form go asylum down. So they quite dream anyhow our party reorganization, rebuilding towards 2028. I think that you know be to share ideas.
But will be paying be suit your because then a couple can once a minute. And then the branding year, then the branding
because also look, so yeah, even a program. In all fairness, Social Dr. Bawumia's branding for the 2026 campaign, 2025-2026. You may not even support him, but I share the branding. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Of course, submitting a nomination. Or share the way I hear the branding of it, the statecraft. You clearly could see that there has been a transition. Yeah, quite a campaign tour. Or share Dr. Bawumia's branding towards the campaign, the backdrop. Or share even the videos now. Near pieces or even your side, and we hope that transition will enter the party side. Our stage was never busy. Or share none of Dr. Bawumia's campaign. Nipa bako ni jina ho kasa o stage. Nipa bako. But no share your friend is saying link na so. Or share live. No share that's the optics no. Because I no speaks louder. Until we were deliberate, we were intentional with the campaign and the branding. I believe that this time around also, because these are the little things that also attract the new voters. Nyamani boy saw Danimwa, near deliberate, near Danim. When you say you can't be no. Even a nyom no cry, na SCB anthem no na be ejiri say yeah modernizing elephant there masa. I'm being honest with you.
What is a bread?
No. I mean, guys, the Yemeni boys, oh, the elephant, no baby, now be bad down. Now you know bad down. It should be something that is trendy. Men can't say no yanse son. Me say if we have to tweak Yemeni beer and make it the ish. That's what I say. What's that? Youth know they are moved by what they see. Until I say, oh, yeah, so me trendy. No, no, trendy. Was what trendy. Oh, I can't want to be also honorable. Yeah, I made that bear for Fidel so trendy. Yeah, Ninano is the optics.
Okay.
This guy by my constituency, I show speed.
Yeah.
Or not to just say everything that he was doing was content.
Yeah. There was no money now.
Yes. And over 200,000 people at a go channel.
Yeah.
Akwano over 50 million subscribers. Is the content, is the optics. Any idea now or where they make sure say the national youth leader, the national organizer, the secretary general. Luckily, these are all three young people.
I
think those who are contesting for the positions of national youth organizer, national organizer, and the secretary general. Almost the branding of the party in here, both those there and almost contesting for this position. Right, let's be innovative. Let's bring some initiative.
And yes, what henti facha me pa and nyanimtia na kasetia etia ubia ubibia be hani bi on fanche me. Ebra na ukita party position no. Na noma energy e wo party no. Ube mrase bedwani no ubua executives na enye ya na fache me.
Oh, but you see, the times that they are in so different. In all fairness, maybe a youth leader of the party, no opposition. Opposition, a t-shirt crowd or chef for campaign is change. Maybe or candidate our turn. Or charges yen change a buying or testing for Mombra. And now our buying so you can't change because you want continuity. See, the dynamics obviously will be different. And you can't demonstrate. Won't be called demonstration against your own government. Into almost dynamics almost to be facing different. Now we are back to opposition. So this is where the real test to begin. How are you beat me about to reorganize to recapture? Yeah, and I also had a different team. I mean, Let time I'm a national youth organizer. John Boydu was national organizer, and Kwabene J. Japan for the first part of it was secretary general, and then we had Awuku and Freddie Blay. The team we also had not different. And SONA later Mbeye organizer, and then Otiko was national women organizer. Then Mbeye organizer, John Boydu was secretary. Then Anabi became youth organizer. You had Aziz Futa, and also Beye Nasser, and We also had Freddie Blay. Also, the dynamics, and a market as National Women Organizer. I'm also many animals which share different group. I'm just hopeful. Say, parts need to tune in Yemen so no area. I think I started the reorganization again from the polling station. Yeah, through the Busanfu. Make sure say you get yourself registered. Or your MPP in Kwahanoa. Senabeya, you can be part of the decision making process. You to obey polling station for, you to obey electoral area coordinators, you to obey constituency, you to obey region, or to obey national.
Type of leaders being MPP here now to recapture power in 2028. I
think that Obibi Obebia need to have a plan for power, and no, don't hide behind people. Don't come to me saying, say, because we're down for the way. No. Let's see your plan for power. Because the flag bearer himself, or no one strategies of person they prosecute in a campaign. Or no prosecute a presidential campaign, the party must look out for the parliamentary seat. Also fighting two elections, the presidential and parliamentary. But again, you also need a team that can work in harmony with the flag bearer.
Okay.
You also don't want a situation where there's tension between the flag bearers and that of the asylum down national headquarters. And yes, sir, Ubiani ni Delia na or looking above the shoulders, know how to put it. So Shenechi, so be a Shenwan also being here. See, for me, I don't think say. There's going to be VTC interference, as someone will say. No, not at all. But then, let's have also a solid, dedicated team. The national headquarters of the party, the leadership there, should also be determined. Some flag bearer to win. The flag bearer too should have a very good working relationship with the national officers. To succeed. Once you have that harmony, it makes it easy. Communication easy. Wave flow, say money easy. The issue of communication is always a problem. Why? Because at the presidential candidates and on the communications director or communications team for the campaign, then at the party headquarters, those are our communications. So, and the moment the party is done with these internal elections, we in full gear our general elections.
Yeah.
When you harmony, even on the com side, a bedding. So that is what I'm saying. Say, executive will be pre-post.
That's what you plan.
Have one danger na yen to for you to be whether Nasara or national chairman, for you to be either youth organizer or first vice, for you to either be women organizer or second vice, or for you to be general secretary or treasurer. What is your plan? What do you bring to the table? To me, that's what I'll be looking at, and to do a fair and good assessment. And once you get your organizational wing also intact, the Nasara, the women, the youth, and the organizer, these are the implementers of the party. Until the action troopers, and they are supposed to make sure that the party is firmly rooted or ground. The rest of the positions are administrative. The rest, the ground game of any party.
Nasara.
Nasara, women, youth, and the boss and the organizer.
Okay.
The organizer no Nasano are three legs: the women, the Nasara, and the youth. Once these three legs are functioning, organizer and also functioning. The rest is administrative. General secretary is administrative. The national chairman is administrative.
By former organizer,
the organizational wing. They mobilize people, they mobilize numbers, they test the pulse of the nation. They tested the feeling at what ground. I'm from youth. Committee and the lessicated youth. What are the people saying? What are the people saying? That's all my bit. Or no chairman of the Council of Elders. Don't know to me said in youth.
About organizers and our party.
I'm not going to go into names. To be honest, no producer. More next to one other. I mean, my supply. Say ye them, edin aye tro. Say mo hyehyɛ adwuma de ba. Akokra ba na hyɛ da twetwen na ono pia so ma na bono hene across check it. No so no aye okay. I say no so awo ba ko so ama. Nti me o di slate be chem na me answer. But ye police station no.
Okay.
Ye electoral area. Ye constituency. Ye region. Not say do national embassy about Bekasebia, then we'll come and have it. But you see, my only worry is that without being specific with names, say all our finest assets and active people, person move by national, and only idea about what me doing. Because you see, you talk about asylum down in a general election. NPP headquarters is not a polling station. About one, it happens in the constituencies. And a constituency, in the belly of the constituencies, and polling stations they go. And those who supervise these constituencies to work hard or sleep, the regional team. In Tipati Mumi Oshe NDC in Greater Accra. Their regional chairman is a former member of parliament. Yeah. Their regional secretary is a former member of parliament. But here the end Obia no jedi say oh say me DMP that region below me. I don't think so. I just honestly think say I'm not even just talking Greater Accra, we can't even nationwide. The quality of our people. My na yem flocky to Accra. As now you are leaving the goalposts. Open and special. Let the party be strong in the constituencies. Yem po most hungry for power. When you brace in every election, two outcomes. A win or lose. But you want people with the mentality say, Adia Mikwe, it has to be a win or a win because I'm going to work hard to win. Until now, we say we are winning, but we must win.
Let's just say
mentality. They say, oh, you winning, but almost it's not greatness.
Okay,
that's why I was almost there. It's not greatness.
We are
winning, but we must win.
Okay.
Until not just say,
just say that team keke. You better
make sure that team say you are winning keke. But all young way you must say at the end of the day, you win. Inti omo mobile positions pe me say they are all good quality. Inti me yentwe ani so hwe constituency no. Yentwe ani hwe the regional party no. Cause hono na the game plan no.
Okay.
It's about betna asylum down. Then we say nka we nka me dem ahoden eboa in my region any idea. Nka would have done better.
Honorable Minister Dr. Elijah Mahmoud Bawumia one no mo fa nche me mo te se ba find the form. Open as a stream.
Yes.
And now unim the one muso betimi aye. We say ye concern edma NPP ni bia na. Ye to aba ni wi ye amanfo kan say Kennedy wo hene Japan intimi nkon ho enkochia no. Brand champion intimi nkon ho enkochia no. E show bibi e can bibi should it be a concern?
Oh, I think say ye mo be so ye exaggerating it too much. First of all, ye to aba wi Yera no me o ma frɛ yera amanetri nkwa omo sanso so no be gina simpie so esa amanetri nkwa e pledge say omne ne beboa ye adwuma you start a campaign. As for say we befie I think we are overly stretching it fene fese enka ebianka bana o ma babesa but me so minim say in fact yera so no he has also not been stable kakra flag bearer. Because no one has to receive almost every day he was receiving guests in Ibia. Na Ibia we took one kakra to Oba. Make sure say Oba you know going to be mesra no. So they might Ibia take steps to do that. But you shouldn't overly stretch it. Say chinchina semuni fie say I say semo be fie. Just a chinchina there's a whole person no crazy the assembly ba. As making omne na kasa wo phone so. Amanichi nkwa. Oma sanso gina simpie so asa amanichi nkwa. And the elections are over. Me wujide kese say Yera Kennedy Japan and then the supporters. Yera Brian a champion and the supporters. Yera Kwabena J Japan and the supporters. Yera Dr. Yao said Duchum and the supporters. They are all solidly behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
Because we are stronger together. And yes, that's why I banned Dr. Bawumia. And we've also reached out to many of the people are no more Yera Ken Hall, Yera Brian Hall, because in one portal. Now internal elections, you know. Let's say we co support Bono, we co support him, we co support Awuku. It is sanity.
Right. When you say be vindictive, police station elections ever started. Ebe kwa ABC national. Omo mujire candidates ejire bread champion no hwan. And then there's a party no avoid this idea we say obeka say one support to me. Oko support to Bawumia, oko support to we, oko support one support to me no. Mesuma ya ma also lusu police station now wakonye kita wo sem na shibudwani no. Me make sure say ma work ya mo lusu 2028.
Well, you say Shakespeare can say me, or say there's no art that determines the mind's construction on the face. Won't mean shiny penny and infinity masem. So we are only hoping that people will just be good Democrats. The fact that we are mainly supported Dr. Bawumia, no be on a constituency. On one year, Juma, Dr. Bawumia. Now, me so chinchina, esanse nipa 9 year, Juma, Dr. Bawumia, Antino. Ese me kutuno de. Not just a general secretary, Shishaya or the buyer. Yet see and find your polling station and find your not just a me buso as a party rep, and as a party official, and as a member of parliament. Inti, at the end, say, oh, boy, nipa di na whether or support candidate A, B, C, D. Na no ye na ye NPP asem no ye ka na ye NPP who don't titi na ye war party and na there is no a year chance ye na no ye adwen ko bankrum e support one candidate in the presidential primaries no kure wo mu ne se nyankopon kopese ye na ye adwen ko fa ko nke wiase na etini ye kase ba ko bono ki aka me no tia bom ye de oheme de kase so aka ho ye de akokra ba ketwa iti so aka me de ho na ye de obia de na se wiase a onam no you see one big head na enanu na ye bebre de obia credit na adwen the human being no every human being has an inherent dignity human being be also an opportunity ye party no at the heart of it here internet se kebi na msumen kebi
yeah
intina at the heart of the democracy no the choice ese me wo ho kwan se me di obi ato nsani ani na me gidi se bono na me gidi so betimi ayedum I may disagree with you but you have to respect my choice and Dr. Bawumia so far any of the nipa one supporting as personal well you would have loved that dodo na say Bono would have supported me, Akokraba and I say Awuku would have supported me. But once he be Awuku support a different person, you'll be disappointed. But that is politics. That's democracy. Tieto abanisi we and in his speeches, our casa both closed door and in the open. Or say ne heart I quote him. Say my heart is open. No bibia or person me ye jume biamra ni enye juma ni mum ni fanje Ghana and see honum for nchirima. It for him there. He has moved on. Intimacy may use a video. Eddie Asro Bibia so are not supporting and say the elections are over. Now fina beche say oh dear. Now the Dr. Bawumia see on no Dr. Bawumia. And as now support Yera Kennedy Japan. Now don't know seeing Kennedy name himself. We supported Brian. Odo Brian name more than or no Brian ne done. And I also supported Dr. Yeduchum. Odo Dr. Educhu more than ono and I support Kwabena Japan now they say now pe Kwabena sem more than no omo kwa na omo akọ election omo abo apro aboka omo si ye support ye reya mo no akọ na
esun ben bi
wow ono na o tai chi no ona osibo debi
right nti kabo me do wasi by family ma misa asembe wa wonte sa asembe wa wonte Ebia, betimati say no say. Why you say chami na miyama sam na miyama ntia no akoti.
But on the most no.
Menim amanfo binom ye de nanti street no so kakra e ko join didi nkomo. Amo se na de ntia no bra enkasa na running mate. Won som. Menim so what bidia.
No men TV.
Umpe so bete so.
Me di me MP. Me ni me MP no.
Kobi me. Kobi me.
Momo de mo hye adwuma na de ba. Tie. Sa akokra ba na bono hene ne kofi me. Agenda boys nkwa.
Oba
na Rabe oti inside Rabe betna wa.
Like a percent nice so be running mate na.
David. Tie. Monkeys play by sizes. Me be deep na she bedwani. Be dey cry form one boy o ma me ntwa first time here. Obesa na mo
se pese umbisa
bati o sa na mo kan obi na NPP call Legon ye konya 17 aspirants we are ya to flag bearing mo be boa pa se da se biem ni asa koja nipa be 10 12 mbo so bono hin de obe ono be 1 on 1 na kokra e busy ni ebuki na we 1 on 1 we 1 on 1 we patoma yura no. That's no. Namumwa the minority in parliament. No. Bono. Until I'm a men firm account. Already there when you're cry and solving modern near Kabab account. Mumwa the minority in parliament. For us to do our work well. Near free and 7 about 10 years. Near more party to make sure that the party too is resolute. Look, the intention of the party is here like an election winning machine. And we tried that, it worked in 2016. Tried that in 2020 and it worked. Empire me bo nyankopon se omwan na yenya solid team. It is crystal clear. Said the current national executives here not all of them will return in 20 by close of the year.
Yeah.
Because ebi enkobium. So there will definitely be new team. Ebi ebekobium. Nyame ya adomo a omombe kobium no ombe wini bi ebu osusu obeko ne de no enkoyeye sana politics nete but whichever team will be constructed no any new additions ebeka ho no ebeboa na afi no ya chechire no na afi the presidential candidate nezu gina brane now I see victory in 2028.
I mean
I can feel it na just a matter of time e momi hu kra
Matter some misa say yeah na party no power e trimuda na say them because party the opposition no won say ahodin bi aba party no o hwe o manyimra so dwafie se ne mo kam nsam ye presentation and the keke ho a it seems say mo communication bibia is new energy and ya na trimuda na say them
o menyini but as human as here no e bia niam ni bi ho no ma at a point in time no with me taking niam ni be for granted
because when you to me na
nia NPP ejidi se na Kenya hwe no NDC ba ma me hu se hwe nti yes we have heard them obi wo hwa na oye adwuma of state owned enterprise agencies of government bra obrema party na ahead of 2016 one ka se op CEO one ka se op deputy CEO one ka se op minister na deputy minister ne de ne se nka bra wa bra party ene ono so contribution yeah after Friday Saturday Sunday so oye adwuma wages nkofo otua bi ye kwa okobi ye ba obabi na ne ohia ye promotion na adwuma nim 8 years won't menya promotion sabe ne kan ye den ti sani pa no de yawo I met one guy be 2-3 weeks ago me nka baby oye adwuma se same na me ye adwuma wo aha na 2024 man to aba o se me tua sika eboaye 2020 ne 2016 mini bidiam ya young professional ba anya no same me de nipa 10 mo koto aba in 2016 so we be sa 2020 2024 there on busa am transfer me see mini bi ko me mu no na promotion for 8 years o baby am ye adwuma
yam fama me
see you no krampe mani mo ahwe ko se me koya me kra de ka e ko kire ne so me kra me wofa no ya so mesi so ma boa bi
so one card
so when fi bought ho ni afa NDC ni or ye ne subordinate e de na be ye ne head no report man. So for such a person me ni share 3 weeks ago ye bon koma na monsieur no therefore then nkro for buy no me promote o se there be na me say e wo me say mistakes bi wo happen ba mo gidie kase se enema be sesa okay bono obi ho no mo a na ni shira na ope under president Kufuor wenya oye wasom party ya sa ni pane bia na ni shira na ope under na nado dan Kufuor do wasom party ya wona e bia na Nyankopon hihye mu be bia na unshira no be ba na obi under when ba omi is president obi so wo ho no mo an nhira banda kufo obi so de banda kufo ado tie bia na wo de no beba under a different president nipa no me wo ho 2 days ago send me message so Sammi more any professional WhatsApp group person me count na me nam for 5 ene ba ko send me message so on be denya party card so give time just that yes nyame ye adom ne about 2029 we shouldn't repeat some of these because yankofo ni bi might be more de yaw ene kotena ankoto aba ti Dr. Bawumia aka se yankofo ni bi ankoto aba na the data the brain no ene the data na woni ogina so a oka all right obua John nkwa ne vote e bi ankode nipa 10 but this are president on nkwa akoto ya but 10 people no one from amoma ankoto aba and bono it happens
right yeah that's it
and the American say mesan so other party for us medamu na so ase se mama ya kwanya ba bono ye bema ye na ye ntientia wo ye NPP ni na wutie me party nhihye de abase ye nchocho ye din at the polling station ye taking it serious ye ncho ye din na me ogidie kese se wonso mu ye ni nipa na ye na ye mpagya osono no nsanyina hobiem me ye nya adwuma no na me wo nyankopon mu gidie se ye de na nyankopon to nhyransi ogu so man 2028 na adwuma no be emre inshallah isan say yetimi ayi ye frank etuni watimi amem wakame amem eko ye smoothly me bompa is a party beginning hye from polling station e de kɔ nanimi ya be no kakra ne no so ye de ahye wo obi a wutie me na wan to aba isan obi hu ya wa wudi ene ni obi de ye wo in 2024 and now 2022 2023 2024 mesrel se ni edu no wo so fa hye otrim se wo saa nipa no ni atwam no ye mani ntwam nko
okay
ni na ye moa ye ho na nyankopon so no engie na onfa ye nko wie ba bi ode ye bekwa ko wie na se na meka no bi a wo somanda kufu ado wo somanda je kufu e bi ana nhira na opese wunya no e bi a wo so no ode na ma ba de hyehyɛ mu wɛrade animu e bi a ba bi ana wo saa nipa yi wo nhira be fie ba bi na wani na so bebe ya da Dr. Bawumia government me da munyina ase
yes you that's